At this time, I want to call to order regular governing board meeting with executive session. Executive session. Pledge of Allegiance will be led by the Girl Scouts.
You may place your hand in your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you. Roll call.
Governing Board President Ms. Maria Guzman.
Present.
Governing Board Clerk Ms. Maria Hernandez.
Present.
Governing Board Member Mr. Rudy Santa Cruz.
Present.
Governing Board Member Ms. Patricia Jimenez.
Present.
And Governing Board Member Mr. Harry Gerwal.
Present.
Next item is adoption of the agenda, approval of February 22nd, 2024 regular governing board meeting with executive session agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Call for the vote.
Governing Board Member Ms. Patricia Jimenez, may I please have your verbal votes?
Aye. You?
Motion carries. Next item is approval of January 25th, 2024 regular governing board meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
Second. So moved, sorry.
Second.
Any discussion, questions? Call for the vote.
Governing Board President Ms. Maria Guzman, may I please have your verbal vote?
Aye.
Governing Board Member Ms. Patricia Jimenez, may I please have your verbal vote?
Aye.
And Governing Board Member Mr. Rudy Santa Cruz, may I please have your verbal vote?
Aye.
Still white.
For some reason, oh, I got it. Papa. So I-
Bless you.
Challenge.
Mary, is that your water, Mother?
Motion carries. Next item is governing board report. Ms. Hernandez.
Thank you, Madam President. First of all, I want to give a special thank you to all of you guys that are here tonight, this afternoon. These are my old stomping grounds. I walked these floors many, many times, and it feels so good to be back here, uh, visiting at one of my sites that I was, and continue the good parent support and continue uh, believing in your school and the good work that you guys are doing here at PTCO. Um, just les quiero dar muchas gracias primeramente a todos los que están aquí, sus padres que están aquí. Me recuerdo muchas veces de cuando trabajé aquí, muchos años que caminé estos pasillos aquí en esta escuela, que es una gran invitación para mí para estar aquí este día. Y me da mucho alegría mirar los padres que están aquí siguiendo a apoyar a sus hijos y su escuela y que siguen adelante. Es todo.
Thank you. Ms. Jimenez.
Thank you. Buenas noches. Le doy la bienvenida también. Siempre me encanta estar aquí con los padres de familia, gracias a la directora, a los maestros. También para mí esta escuela tiene bueno, todo el distrito, pero aquí esta escuela, mis hijos vinieron a esta escuela, los dos, y los dos ya están graduados con sus maestrías, y por eso sigo todavía aquí en la mesa directiva, porque creo en cada estudiante y en cada niño, y la diferencia la hacemos nosotros los padres. Estoy muy orgullosa que ustedes están aquí involucrada con sus hijos, porque el éxito es estar involucrados y apoyándolos en lo que ellos quieren. I want to welcome everybody. I love coming to visit the schools. I love Isaac, and especially this school. It goes deep in my heart because both of my kids came to PTCO. They're both graduated with their masters, and it's glad to see all of you here supporting your students, because the key is us parents supporting our kids and making sure that they follow their dream. I am very thankful, and thank you for the great host. The kids were amazing. It's always wonderful, when they receive us and then they walk us. So thank you very much for the popcorn, for everything. So I'm looking forward to seeing the presentations. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is myself. I just want to welcome everyone here tonight. Thank you for hosting us here tonight. I also wanted to report I was able to attend and celebrate our communication department for receiving 7 awards of excellence with the Arizona School Public Relation Association. Congratulations to them, and thank you for your hard work. Also, on February 7th, we had a board study session where we received information and update on energy conservation and our strategist plan revised process. Thank you for the information. I look forward for the next steps and for the information presented to us. Thank you. Next is Mr. Santa Cruz.
Thank you. Just want to welcome everybody. And I need to have a special thank you to the cafeteria ladies. The food is delicious. Oh my gosh, I can't say enough. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gaywell.
Yes, good evening, everybody, and bienvenidos a todos los padres que están aquí ahora. So unfortunately, I'm not able to attend the dinners because I always have a meeting at 4 o'clock, another meeting at the same time, but I understand it's always good. I just wanted to share with you about a meeting that occurred on the 8th of February, and it was with Neighborhood Services Department. And they're looking at putting out a request for proposal for the 27 lots that are just south of McDowell on 31st, over there by the Esperanza area. And there's also 6 other lots that are over towards the 35th Avenue side. Why is that significant? Number one, with Esperanza coming on, we'll have 94 new families in the community here. And then when Falcon Park residential properties come in over on 35th and Portland, that's going to be another 194, 199 units. So basically, there'll be 300 new families coming into the district. And so by taking these 33 lots, putting them out there, they're single family. So that means that, you know, we can have properties for families to come back in that neighborhood that's been empty since I-10 came through. How long ago did I-10 come through? 30 years, you know, so it's been sitting there over there. And one of the other things is that they've also looked at Isaac as as a neighborhood initiative area. So now there's federal funding that'll be coming in to help out with the housing. So essentially, you know, over the next 3 years, we're going to see a pretty significant increase in families. So we should see a pretty significant increase of our student enrollment. So it's even that much more important that, you know, we stand out and we have. I mean, the recognition for the communications, keeping track of, you know, our proficiencies, the education, academia side of it is what's going to attract, you know, families to come into the Isaac School District. The other thing is, I did suggest to them that that 5 acres over there that used to be the old truck stop, just east of the administration offices, be rezoned back to multifamily housing. Remember, it was supposed to be family housing in there, and then there was a big push not to have any more housing in the area for whatever reason, and so it got changed to parks. And my comments to them was, why would you want to put a park on one of the most dangerous and most traveled arterials of McDowell Road from I-17 to 43rd? So I'm really encouraging the city, and I'm hoping to get the support of the community to change the zoning on there back to multifamily so we can build additional housing and get more families back into the neighborhood here. With that, Madam President, that's into my report.
Thank you. Next item is superintendent update. Dr. Ventura?
Madam President, members of the board, and Isaac community. February marks Black History Month, and throughout the United States and here in Isaac, we proudly celebrate the contributions of past and present civil rights leaders of African American descent. And even though it's a month, this is something that we need to celebrate all year long, all the contributions of all peoples. So, but especially this month, we focus on our African American community. Also, this month we celebrated the National School Counseling Week. And Isaac has had a rich tradition of always providing counseling for our students, even when there was very limited funding. All our schools have always had counselors or social workers. So we are committed to the work that they provide our students and providing that service to our community. But I want to thank our counselors for all their hard work. And this month we highlighted their contributions throughout the district. So thank you, counselors, if you're here, for all that you do. February 22nd, Tuesday, we had our Parent Advisory Council meeting, and it was a great event. This is where we have representatives from all our schools come to the district office and meet with me and our leadership team and talk about important initiatives and our strategies to improve our district. And this time we spoke about the difference between volunteering and parent engagement. There are times for parents to volunteer, and that's great. We want our parents on our campus, but engagement is where we really want to get our parents focus on their child, focus on the learning, focus on the future that they have for continued learning. So thank you, parents and staff who's participated and supported in this, our Superintendent Advisory Committee. We also have, we want to recognize our Isaac Middle School and Pueblo del Sol cheer teams. They were in a competition. Isaac Middle School placed third. We're very proud of their work and their performance. And I don't know if you saw today on the way here, we have some future cheerleaders. I think they're going to help those squads really improve. They were amazing, and I hope we get to see more of them. Isaac, we also had last week a really great event with Grand Canyon University. We took 89 total parents and students. It was, I think, it ended up being 27 families to Grand Canyon University to walk the campus, learn about scholarship opportunities, career pathways, and the importance of education. After their visit, walking the campus, they were able to stay and watch a GCU basketball game, and they're a really good team this year. So we're excited that our families had this opportunity, and we're excited to partner with Grand Canyon University. As you heard earlier, our communications department received 7 awards, and myself and Mrs. Guzman were at the event, and there are districts that have teams of 10 or more people. and we received more awards than some of those other districts. So I'm very proud of our team of 3 that worked really, really hard to make sure that our families, our Isaac community knows all the great things that are happening in our district. And then finally, we had a visit for our Superintendent Student Advisory Council. They got to go to the Capitol today and meet with House representatives. I want to thank Liz Gonzalez, Martin Perez, and Estela Barraza for planning this event and taking our students to learn about democracy and watching it in action there at the Capitol. Madam President, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next item is new business, information, discussion, action. Item A, PT Co Elementary School highlight, Ms. Robin Lee, principal at PT Co Elementary School.
All right. Good evening, Madam President, Isaac School Board members, Dr. Ventura, PTCO, and Isaac Online parents and community. I am Robin Lee, the proud principal of PTCO and Isaac Online Prep Academy, and I'm excited to showcase the greatest learning community that I have the privilege of leading. Before I get started, I would like to acknowledge the other very important people we have in the building, with whom we could simply not do what we do at Co and Isaac Online without. First, I would like to thank the parents of our Co and Isaac Online learners. You are our students' first teachers. We appreciate everything you do for our community of learners. Please stand so we can acknowledge you. Okay, there's no parents. I know there's parents here. I know. Yay! All right. I would also like to thank the PTCO and Isaac Online teachers. You are the backbone of our school community. Please stand so we can celebrate you. And last but not least, I would like to thank our PTCO and Isaac Online students. You Cobras and online learners are the reason that we are able to talk about how amazing our school is. So please stand if you are a student and you're in here. We have lots of students here, but they're preparing to present for you. All right, our first set of data that I would like to present to you is for PTCO. As you can see, this slide illustrates the English language arts proficiency data as assessed by the AASA for grades 3 through 5. This data compares the percentage of students who are proficient at CO, ISD, and within the state of Arizona. I am proud of the knowledge that our third graders showed, with 30% of them scoring proficient. This data points to a need for targeted interventions to improve our ELA proficiency rates, especially as students progress to those higher grades. We are currently providing Tier 2 intervention time to help with some of this. This data illustrates our math proficiency as assessed by AASA for grades 3rd through 5th. Again, our third graders were ahead of the district average. This data points again to some needed interventions for math proficiency to improve. For our district benchmark assessment, the iReady, there has been a notable increase in the percentage of K-5 students achieving grade level proficiency in both reading and math. For reading, we saw an increase from 8% to 39% from fall to spring. In math, the co-students improved from 3% to 33% from fall to spring. These data points highlight substantial progress in student proficiency over the academic year, with both reading and math scores. My second set of data tonight is for the Isaac Online Prep Academy. As you can see, this slide illustrates the English language arts proficiency data as assessed by our AASA for grades 3 through 8. Our 3rd and 6th through 8th graders showed proficiency at a higher rate than the district average, and our 6th graders exceeded the state average. I am very proud of the hard work they did last year to get this growth. Here we have our math proficiency data as assessed by the AASA for our 3rd through 8th grade learners. This data shows how math instruction in an online platform can be very difficult to grasp. Teachers and students work much harder to understand concepts that at times needs hands-on manipulatives and in-person support. We continue to try innovative ways to support our students in learning math virtually. Some of the things we've tried this year are making take-home math kits with manipulatives, holding tutoring sessions for those that need the extra support, and providing students with teacher-assigned lessons at their instructional level on iReady. For our district benchmark assessment, iReady, there has been a notable increase in the percentage of K through 8 students achieving grade level proficiency in both reading and math. For reading, we saw an increase of 16% to 56% from fall to spring at Isaac Online. In math, the Isaac Online students improved from 10% to 38%. These data points highlight substantial progress in student proficiency over the academic year. We believe that our targeted Tier 2 intervention, as well as our weekly grade level professional learning committees, where we review common assessment data for our students and plan next steps for all student success, contributed to these significant gains at both Isaac Online and PTCO. The goals that we set for the 23-24 school year are listed before you. These goals were created by our site leadership team and shared with all staff. We believe that our goals are reasonable and evidenced of our continued commitment for continuous improvement. As you are aware, our 21st Century and Isaac Learning Clubs go beyond mere childcare. It unlocks a world of opportunities for our students. We currently have 197 of our students enrolled in 16 different classes that we offer. Our classes range from academic enrichment to extracurriculars. Our students' favorites are cooking with the Charlie Cart, any sport, and Razzatazz science. We believe that education truly thrives when families and communities are actively engaged. This is why our family and community education program holds such immense importance for our school and the success of our students. Ms. Brianda Alvarez, our amazing parent educator, has provided many educational and engaging activities for both our parents and students. Ms. Alvarez holds on average 9 classes a month with around 11 attendees. She uses parent interest surveys to help build her class schedule, as well as ideas from collaboration with the administration. One of our highest attended events was the Hispanic Heritage Celebration, where families work together to make maracas to take home. We are excited to continue our outside partnerships with Hey You Got This, Junior Achievement, and West Phoenix High School. We also had an amazing turnout for our first annual science night, where the students were the parents' teachers while they did science experiments. This year, we are so lucky to have a strong site council of members who are excited to be a part of a team that is making efforts in turning Co into an A school. We meet monthly as a team of parents, community members, and school leaders to discuss how to best support all learners in meeting their goals. We love to celebrate student success here, and throughout the year, we do that every month. And today was one of those days, so it's been a fun, busy day. We recognize 2-star students in each classroom and 1 student of the month. So our students earn this recognition by showing our 3 Bs, which are being safe, being respectful, and being responsible. Quarterly, we recognize students that work hard to be on the principal's list, honor roll, and show the most academic improvement. A special thank you to Ms. Egu, who organizes our assemblies, and Mr. Sheepstra and his STEAM club, who create our medals for the students. We have partnered with our PTO in the past 2 years to celebrate our students and community through special activities. We held field days for Dia de los Niños, and this year we've had some holiday celebrations where we had piñatas for the students to break for Christmas, and we celebrated Dia de los Muertos with altars. to honor our loved ones. Some of the ways we celebrate student success and fun in learning at Isaac Online are through virtual science labs, a club called NaNoWriMo, shopping with a cop, and our spelling bee champions. Tonight, I have the great honor of recognizing 3 certified staff members. Picking only 3 was a difficult task. The first teacher I would like to recognize is Miss Kathy McNair from Isaac Online Prep. She is currently our kinder first grade teacher. Miss McNair has been with the Isaac Online since our inaugural year and has continued to be a valued member of our small but mighty community. Miss McNair, please come up. Our second recognition goes to Mr. Lonnie Sheepstra, a 5th grade teacher at PTCO. Mr. Sheepstra is honest and open about his hopes for the PTCO community. He comes to work every day with innovative ideas to ensure all students are showing growth and reaching proficiency. Our PTCO family is so lucky to have him. Mr. Sheepstra, please come up. And our third recognition tonight goes to Miss Patricia Gorowski, our self-contained resource teacher. She is one of the most patient and understanding adults I have ever had the honor to work with. Every day, she goes above and beyond for her students to ensure they make and master their educational goals. Our community, students, and families are lucky to have Miss Gorowski as a partner in learning. Miss Gorowski, please come up. For our classified staff recognition, I would first like to recognize Miss Melinda Velasco, our secretary for Isaac Online. She has ensured that our online learners feel as though they are part of a strong community, even though they are not together. She has created a personal relationship with every single one of our students and families. Without her, Isaac Online would fall apart. Thank you for being the amazing secretary you are. Miss Velasco? You're very welcome. And I have a mess up here. And last but not least, we have Miss Araceli, our school custodian at PTCO. She is one of the hardest working custodians I have had the pleasure of working with. Miss Araceli ensures that our campus is clean and ready to go each morning before anyone arrives. Throughout the day, she goes above and beyond, ensuring that the campus stays clean and well maintained, while also managing every other task that we can come up with for her. Thank you, Ms. Araceli, for everything you do for our PTCO community. Please come up. All right, well, at this time, we are excited to showcase some of our amazing talents here at PTCO. So, Governing Board, if you could please take your front row VIP seats here. Go for it. Can you see? All right, first up, I present to you our Cobra cheerleaders. You fifth graders, you did a great job. Small but mighty group there. All right, this completes our student performances. So governing board members, I invite you to take your seats. This concludes my presentation. Please take a moment to open your gift in front of your computers designed by our PT Co Morning STEAM Club. They are becoming quite the designers of graphic coffee cups and everything else you can think of. Your names are on the side. They're personalized for you. So we hope you enjoy. You're very welcome. We hope you enjoy your coffee or your drink of choice in that cup. And at this time, I would be happy to answer any questions you may have for me.
Madam President,
Ms. Jimenez?
well, thank you very much for the gift and for the shirt. Is he here today? Where is he? Yeah, well, thank you. I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
Ms. Jimenez, can you speak into the mic so they can hear you?
Oh, sorry. As I was coming in too, I don't know, you have a new logo, correct?
Well, it's
Or-
not a new logo,
it's-
but we like the happy looking snake. So we're in the process of possibly making that change, but we have to go through the communications team first, and we're
Yeah, there's a
vetting it
process,
with
there's a
we're vetting it with the kids and the parents right now
Oh,
to see if
okay.
they're interested in it.
Well, you know what? Happy is always good.
Yeah.
We have to be happy every day. So, but thank you very much. Thank you again to the parents. Gracias por estar aquí. Thank you for hosting us. And yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anyone else wants to comment, say something? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Oh, and at this time, if parents you would like to leave, that is fine. Your children are in the classrooms that they were dropped off in, and there's light refreshments in the back. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Try to get some guayaberas.
You like those? Bueno, Mexico, get them. Mexico, get them.
No, I find them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the long sleeves, I have to go. Weeks further down.
So,
Yes, the virgin coat.
Okay, next item is item B. Approval of partnership with Phoenix Educator Preparatory Phoenix Union High School District. Dr. Lily Mesa Lema, Assistant Superintendent. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Dr. Lily Mesa?
Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Ventura, in front of you, you have a request for approval for a partnership between Isaac and Phoenix Union and one of their micro schools, Phoenix Educator Preparatory. They are building a program for high schoolers interested in the teaching profession. And the partnership allows those students to come in and observe our certified teachers in action and learn from them as part of their high school experience.
Is there any question from the board? Call for the vote. Motion carries. Next item is item C, approval to purchase a Mita VoIP phone system and phone service to be used district-wide. Ms. Ling Lang, Chief Financial Officer, and Mr. Berto Perez, Director of Technology. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Ling Lang?
Madam President, members of the governing board, Dr. Ventura and Isaac Community. At this time, I would like to ask Mr. Berto Perez to please fill you in on the details of our request.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the governing board, Dr. Ventura, Isaac, staff, and community. Tonight, we bring forth a recommendation for a project to replace our current Isaac phone system. So the current system we have in place is well over 10 years old. So it's aging and it really needs to be replaced before it begins to fail. Also, we'd like to take advantage of a lot of the new technology that's out there to be able to use more of the new features that are available, as well as integrated with all the great new technology that we're bringing to the district in terms of safety and security. The system itself comes from the company called Mitel. It is a hosted solution. And part of that is that while the software is hosted in the cloud, we will have all new handsets in all our classrooms and in all our offices, as well as options for using new tools like virtual telephones via an app on a cell phone. So very excited about the new possibilities there. Our manufacturer is Mitel, who's been in this industry for 50 years and is used throughout the world. And our vendor who's going to be doing installation and leading support for our district is Convergence Telecom, who focuses on Mitel, has been serving Arizona for over 20 years, and has worked with several school districts, some of whom you see on the screen in front of you. The total cap of the project we're putting is at $800,000, which would cover the cost of the phone system over the next 5 years. And in this project will be included an approximate $125,000 per year savings by moving away from the traditional CenturyLink connections that we utilize today. Some important notes, if approved, the project would be completed by about midsummer, probably sooner. And we would make sure that it wouldn't impact daily operations, but we would go through and check all our sites, make sure we're really comfortable where we want all our new phones to go. And by doing that walk, we do expect, well, we've asked for that that standard budget number of 800,000. We expect that number of the final cost to go down. And something that is very important is that we're going to be hoping to use current year ESSER 3 funds to be able to deliver this project. So at this point, I'll be able to answer any questions the board might have.
Thank you. Is there any question from the board?
Madam President?
Ms. Jimenez?
Berto, my only question that I have is, what are you going to do with the old phones?
Madam President, Ms. Jimenez, so these phones are no longer encumbered by E-rate or any of those types of rules. So we're really at liberty to do what we want. So typically what we do with older hardware is we work with our procurement team and sometimes the warehouse, depending if it's something that we can resell to either another organization or a company that takes older hardware or that might need it. Sometimes it's another district. Then we'll try and seize that opportunity. Sometimes there's an opportunity for certain hardware to be recycled, and then we'll look for that opportunity as well. So we'll see what makes the most sense in terms of dollars for that older hardware, but that would happen, once the project is fully complete and we know we've got all new systems in place, then we can either resell, recycle, or some mix of both those options for the existing hardware. Okay. And that would be for the phones and the the server infrastructure that powers it on the back end.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other question from the board?
Madam President, just a comment.
Mr. Gearwell?
Well, I'm glad to see that we're using the ESSER funds, because that's a capital expenditure. And so, it's a one-time cost and it's not something we have to worry about in the future because as we all know, the ESSER funds are going to be depleted here pretty quickly. So I'm glad that we're investing it in things that are, going to be sustainable and will be here for long term, and so, and I'll go back to what we always say with School Facilities Board, unfortunately they never have enough money. That's Mr. Morales, he'll tell you. But these are I think the best and highest use for our ESSER funds in order for us to be able to bring our district up to at least to the 21st century, more than anything else. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam President, I have a question as well.
Ms. Hernandez?
Berto, also, would this include like the cell phone systems and all that that the staff uses off the campus and all that? Is all that included? Is it bundled in, or is it just the school phones at the sites?
So, Madam President, Mr. Hernandez, that's a great question. So the system that we're looking at is focused on what's on campus, so the hard phones that you might see in the front office or in the teacher's classroom. But importantly, by leveraging a new system from Mitel, it, for example, will include an app that will basically let you use one of our district iPhones to install effectively a virtual phone on the actual iPhone itself, right? So it can interact just like you were sitting at a desk, but you can be using it where you, for example, if you're a principal, you could be able to interact with the phone system from wherever you are, as long as you have a data signal. So while it doesn't replace the iPhone, those still typically will go through like our current vendor Verizon, and so we'll still pay for that type of service. But this will be able to interact with that.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Any other question from the board? Call for the vote. Motion carries. Thank you. Next item is item D, approval of resolution for maintenance energy conservation project. Dr. Mario Ventura, Superintendent. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Dr. Ventura?
Madam President, members of the board, and Isaac community, back on February 7th, we had a study session with the board to look at a maintenance project, a conservation energy project, to see if it would be a good fit for Isaac. And as you remember through that presentation, we looked at various ways we could save monies in our energy consumption by having this project. And basically the project would pay for itself with the amount of energy we save and our utilities costs. So before you have a resolution, and the resolution is for the Isaac Elementary School District number 5, Maricopa County, and it would authorize, you would give authorization to enter into agreements for financing and executing an HVAC project aimed at energy conservation. It approves a lease purchase agreement for up to $16.5 million with a 15-year maturity at a maximum rate of 6% interest. The project would be carried out by Verigy LLC with guaranteed cost savings, which is something that, remember, it's by statute that districts are allowed to do, and the savings is guaranteed. But this, and the savings would be reviewed by an independent engineer in case there was ever discrepancies there. The district, myself, and Ms. Lynn Lang would select the financing escrow agents with payments subject to annual board approval, not constituting a debt for the district. Actions taken under the resolution are ratified and in terms remaining effective until the lease or purchase agreement are fulfilled. So again, in the presentation, we saw roughly our annual utilities bill were $1.26 million. With this project, that utilities bill would be cut down to about $580,000, and that savings would be used to finance the project.
Is there any question from the board? Call for the vote.
Oh, Madam President, just one. I'm looking on Exhibit A, and I'm seeing that Leila Alston is not covered on all the different aspects here. Is that just because there's already equipment there? We've already done something else. For example, it doesn't have upgrades marked. It doesn't have solar marked. So that's one of the schools that, just doesn't have everything marked across there. Where the other ones may have just one, but that one has two. And then Mitchell. But Heart of Isaac, I understand, because, it's a house.
Yeah, let me take a look at that.
Yeah, look at Exhibit A, which is at the end.
Yeah. What you'll see, the different categories in the energy saving measures are what that are done. Now, some of those savings based on the payback, if depending on the type of fixtures I had or HVAC units, and that's the reason that we've done already a lot of upgrades ourselves already there from HVAC. We've also updated a lot of our energy management system there as well. Some of the fixtures are newer there, so depending on what those savings were, if we felt the payback was not there where we needed, then those were not included in there. So we're basically trying to make sure that we got the highest payback and the ROI on each of the different measures. So that's why you'll see us there. Some of the savings with solar, um, again, a lot of it is depend on the meter size. Some of these schools are just too small, so there's just not enough savings or payback to warrant a solar system in those areas because of the meter size. Some of those other schools, because they already had solar, also affected the payback on the solar, so that was an issue as well. What we are going to do, besides this, we are going to look at solar from a different standpoint, from a APS standpoint, because they do have a solar community solar project. But those will only relate to any schools that are in the APS area. So that's why you'll see the areas that are not highlighted in those.
Okay, very
Okay.
good. Thank you.
Madam President,
Ms. Jimenez.
um, looking at Exhibit A, all I asked if we could, because we just changed the name of Lila Austin. It's now Estrella Brillantes, so I don't know if we could change that. Um, and then the other thing, our Resource Welcome Center. Where's, because I know we have our, our, I mean, is all of this correct?
Madam President, I can't open, I do, Shannon,
Because I know we have the Kazan Learning
James,
Center.
would you be able to answer that?
Because I know we have the Heart of Isaac, but the Resource Welcome Center.
Yeah, good evening, Madam President, members of the board. A lot of those names come from when we look at your SRP or APS bills. There might be a little bit of discrepancy on that, but before contracts are done, we'll go through with Mr. Morales, Dr. Ventura, and make sure that all of those names are accurate and updated.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Oh, that's what it is? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just know we went to recent change naming, so we want to make sure that we put the right information on there.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions? Call for the vote. Motion carry. Next item is consent business service, consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the whole agenda? Is there a second? Call for the vote. Motion carries. Next item 11, call to the public.
Madam President, there is no request to address the governing board.
Thank you. Next item, information. Enrollment is at 4,938. Calendar, February 29th, Community Resource Days on Wheels. March 1st, National Employee Appreciation Day. March 2nd, National Read Across America Day. March 2nd, Parent University at Arizona State University West Valley Campus located at 4701 West Thunderbird Road, Glendale, Arizona 85306. March 4th through the 8th is National School Social Work Week. And item C is next regular governing board meeting will be at 5 p.m. Thursday, March 7, 2024 at Mitchell Elementary School at 1700 North 41st Avenue, Phoenix, Arizona 85009. And then Next item is executive session. I'm sorry, I'm having a little trouble with my eyes, but this light is like a little bit too bright. Next item, executive session, approval to convene executive session to conduct the superintendent annual evaluation of 2022-2023 performance goal assessment, Dr. Mario Ventura, Superintendent. In accordance with policy CBI, evaluation of the superintendent, the governing board enters executive session to conduct Dr. Ventura's evaluation, engage in discussion, and provides feedback. The evaluation is based on leadership standards and student academic outcome for the year of 2022 to 2023 school year. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
No? Call for the vote? Motion carries. So at this time, we will be going to another place to do the executive session. So thank you for coming. Item number B, approval to end executive session and reconvene regular session. Is there a motion? Call for the vote.
Okay.
Motion carries. Item 14A, item 14, specific item of district business A, consideration of possible approval of superintendent performance base paid Dr. Mario Ventura, superintendent. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Call for the vote. Motion carries. And if I don't hear no objection, meeting adjourned.